Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the Bad League Bad Pods podcast. I am Zach Fuller. I'm here with Ben Dunn, and I feel like we are officially fully back in the swing of things for these.
You're so back.
Yeah, Ben, how's your day going so far?
So far, so good, man. It's we're sitting here in the middle of a thunderstorm. Yeah, it's raining a little bit,
So
but
not a
other
very
than
busy
that,
day at the golf course then.
well, no, and not specifically at the golf course. We got some other stuff we're dealing with, so we're
Gotcha.
doing all right. But yeah, other than that, man, everything's good. Feeling good after our evening last night, and just keeping busy. How about you?
It's going well. I am currently, well, before and after this, I'm filling out a bunch of stuff to apply for my commercial pilot certificate. So that's kind of what my day
Ooh,
is consisting of. Basically, I gotta well, not apply, but input a bunch of stuff, and then I'm eligible to basically take the oral exam and the practical exam. So,
exciting news! I love it.
yeah, exciting. Hopefully, this time next week, I'll be a commercial pilot. But um, that's neither here nor
That's
there. We had some racing at Vegas last night. Um, I was really pleased with how that race went in general.
Me too, man. I think it was a great success. A lot of fun. A lot of green flag racing for a while there. You look at the stats, you see the 8 cautions, but it doesn't really break down how long of a run there was in the middle of that race.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Some mix up in strategy, but how does your race go? We'll start with you, Mister Third Place.
Yeah, it was going pretty good at the beginning. Kind of ran in the top 3 to 4 most of the race. The first caution, everybody pit. I think that was lap 20 something, and then
Yep.
we had another about 20 lap run, and a bunch of us stayed out. A few of you guys pit, and it turned out that pitting there was probably the right call, um, because I I feel like by staying out, we were basically saying yeah, there's gonna be some more cautions here after about 20 laps, and
Definitely risking that.
yeah, there really wasn't. There was a really long run. I'm trying to pull up the lap chart here, but I mean, it was a good. I want to say it was probably like a 50 or 60 lap run. I mean, it was a really long run, and it was a lot of fun. Because I had stayed out, I was losing a lot of time before the pit stop. So as soon as the pit window opened, I was like, okay, I'm gonna come down and pit and see if we can catch this just right. And ended up with the lead, and then the caution came out around lap 100 or whatever. I think it was actually late 90s,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
ended up with the lead. Lost it on pit road, which was really annoying. These things are really hard to stop in your box, and I think I was literally 6 inches too long in the box. So I literally flipped it into reverse, and that was enough. You know how
Just that little
you
jolt
barely,
backwards.
yeah, basically. So which is so dumb. But um, yeah, I ended up in third, and then Jack and I got together after. I think there was a restart where the 3 wide thing happened off of 4, and then Jack and I got together. So that was unfortunate, but ended up making my way back over the next 20 or so laps to third, and I think that was pretty much the best I was gonna do, unless we got maybe a 10 lap run to the end. I could have maybe done something because I was on a little bit fresher tires than Brandon and Owen, but um, third place is good, all things considered. I think that's probably about the worst I should have finished because on the long run I was pretty good, but I don't know if I really had the pace to stay in front of all three of Jack, Owen, and Dylan. And Brandon was really good on the long run too. So um, Yeah, third place is all right. I mean, I'll definitely take it for my first race of the season. How was yours?
It was good. I kind of played that different strategy than yourself,
Yeah,
and as you had noted there, I think I would have to disagree that that was the right strategy, mainly because yes, we got to go up there and lead. I got to go up on that run and lead a lot of laps and really take care of the car. But the thing was that extra pit stop, once that next caution came out, we were kind of forced,
yeah,
as guys who pit in that second stop, we were kind of forced to come down and pit with you guys. So it kind of put us all back on the same strategy, but just we were with one less set of tires. So at the end of the race, you know, on those couple of restarts, I would have loved to have some fresher tires because I think I put my last set on around lap 100 or something
yeah. I
like that.
think so.
So, just before lap 100. So, if we didn't have all those cautions at the end, I think that really would have bit me in the ass. I think I wound up with a better result than I could have based on the age of the tires that I was sitting there on some of these restarts. But it really didn't. We didn't get a ton of laps on those tires, so they didn't feel too bad. I still felt like I was able to wheel it around at the end there and compete. But yeah, it was a good strategy at the time. The first run of the race, I really just kind of thought there was going to be some cautions, and I got after it, and I got up there and was running behind Brandon.
Oh yeah,
You say
the
Brandon
beginning.
good. Brandon was good on the long run. You were 100% right about that because I was pacing with him when we went up to the front there, and I was right behind him, but I fell off way earlier than him and started falling back through the pack. That lap 22 or whatever it was, that first caution really saved me because I learned a lot from that. I really killed my tires, and then the second caution, honestly, one of the bigger reasons that I wanted to pit was because the first run gave me just the absolute worst data on my tires because I treated them terribly and
Yeah,
went really hard. And then in the second run, I was a lot easier on the car, and I really just needed to see for myself to know what I was doing. I needed to pit and see where I was at. And when I pit on that second time, I saw some reassuring numbers that were way better than the first time. So that was kind of what led me to think, okay, you can save your tires. You just went a little too hard on that first run. So
yeah,
the second run, I had the idea in my head where I knew that I was the first car. I think I restarted like eighth maybe, and I was the first car on the brand new tires. So
yeah. And you
I
were up
just
there
kind of had the
quick,
thought.
even though you
Yeah,
were
well, I
taking
had the
it
thought in my
easy.
head that I was like, look, I'm just gonna get up here. I'm gonna go as hard as I can for 3, 4 laps, whatever it takes for me to get up front. And then once I get up front, I can just cruise and really just nurse the tires. And I'm still gonna gap you guys because just the nature of how much newer I think my tires were like 18 or 19 laps newer, right? So
Yeah,
I was like, man, like I can just get up front. I can cruise and coast and still gain on these guys. So it was cool to get up there and get to lead some laps. I don't really get to lead a lot of laps, so that was pretty cool. And then yeah, towards the end of the race, like I said, I got lucky with the late cautions because I did have some older tires. I held on to some good track position. I was able to avoid those tires, and at the end, give as much of a push as I could to get out front and bring home a fifth place. So not definitely not going to complain about a top five. It was a battle of attrition almost against the tires because
yeah,
man, once those things started to go, it was rough. And I mean, I think I was struggling in turns 3 and 4 more than I've struggled in a long time on older tires. So it was definitely interesting. I was saved by some late cautions to not have to run too long on some older tires. But hey, yeah, like I said, I'll take it, man. It was a successful night.
yeah. As soon as you when you pitted on that lap like 45 caution or the second caution, whenever it was, I didn't want to say anything to jinx it, but I was like, dude, if this thing goes green, we're gonna get a shotgun video. Like this is the perfect position for you to be in because I felt like you probably had the most pace, like on the long run, of those people on that had taken the tires, except for Drift, obviously, which he
That's
showed
pretty
last
good. Drift
night.
was pretty good as well.
He is just a wizard with the tire saving. So um, that would have been a
Yeah,
fun
he did.
battle
He
to
did a
see.
great job.
Yeah, I was really hoping that it went green to the end. I probably would have finished like fifth or sixth if it did, but I just wanted to see it all play out. And yeah, I was in the lead with like 20 to go, but I wasn't gonna hang on. I mean, Owen and Brandon were about a second and a half behind me at that point, and I think they were probably going to blow by me pretty quick. I mean, I would have tried to fight them off, but it wouldn't have been
Yeah,
too
I
long.
was I was really, really banking on. I wanted to see what happened with that strategy playing off because Drift and I were able to, because of our fuel situation. I think we were able to stay out a lot, like a bit longer than everybody else. Not as long as we wanted, because like Jack and Dylan, I believe, still came in 5 or 6 laps before us.
Hmm.
So I think for it to really, really have paid off for Drift and I think Drift and I would have caught and been able to fight through some people. I don't know that we would have been able to get back to the front.
Okay.
I felt like I could have. I was kind of just pacing behind him since he did such a good job saving his tires. I was kind of just trying to follow him. We started gaining on the top five before that caution came out, but again, I think getting through that pack would have been tough
Yeah.
for us. But it would have been interesting. I really did want to see how that played out, and unfortunately, we had some caution, had a caution and that run, but yeah, it was going to get really, really interesting there. I think with the with the tires and with what Drift and I were doing and trying to crawl back through the field. I think we might have wound up needing a little more time because we didn't get to go as much longer as we wanted.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was towards the end of the fuel run on that thing, man. That thing was a handful. It was a lot.
Yeah, I was having a ton of fun just like trying to manage the tires, and yeah, towards the end it was there was not a lot of grip out there. And I think that's good. I think that's why we had the long runs that we did, because I think people did like understand that you really had to race the racetrack last night. Like you couldn't go out and like be aggressive and try to pass people, because that wasn't really the goal, right? Like the goal was going to be to save your tires and stuff. So I think that
Make
bodes
the car last and be in
yeah,
the right spot.
I think that bodes really well for the rest of the season. Like I look at just looking ahead at the schedule, like I'm talking about like Michigan and Kansas and Darlington. Like those races, I
Darlington's
think
going to be wild
I
based on
th-
the tire wear that we saw last night.
oh yeah,
Darlington is going to be crazy. So is Dover. I mean, those tracks that really eat the tires up. And old
yeah,
Atlanta, like man, it's we were pressing with the 4 sets last night, and I just looked down and see that we have 4 more laps at Atlanta, which destroys tires,
yeah,
and the same amount of laps at Darlington, pretty much that we had in this one. So it's gonna be it's gonna be fun. The paces there are really gonna fall off towards the end,
yeah,
much more than we saw here. Because this, I would say, this is yeah, it's an older surface, but I don't consider Las Vegas like a tire eating track. I don't really consider it like a high wear surface. So we have a few of those in our future, and man, that's gonna be interesting.
yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's just go over the top five. We kind of covered ours. We're both in the top five. That doesn't happen super often. Um,
The
on this
battle there too. I
podcast.
mean, I don't think I get to battle with you much all last year at all. So
Yeah, yeah. I think we'll be seeing that more this season. So coming home with the win is Owen Mays. Owen
hell of a drive.
potentially is back.
Yeah, hell
Um,
of a drive for him.
yeah, he wins his first race since the second to last race last season.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so he's on kind of a pretty good run here. That's 3 wins in the last 7 races. So
He's so back.
that's definitely the Owen that we have 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 come to know over all these years. And I mean, he ran a great race.
Yeah, and even at certain points of the race last night, I was kind of, I'd see him back sixth, seventh place. I mean, he had an average running position of 5.2. Winning from that is pretty impressive on its own. But there were a lot of times where I saw him in spots where, I'm thinking, is he a little off this race, or like is is he saving tires? Like I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, once he got up front and got some clean air, he was able to put down the laps he needed to do to hold everyone off. And yeah, just like I said before, just drove an absolutely great race. Led the most laps, fastest lap, and started on the pole. So good on him to just put together a hell of a drive and go get a win this early in the season and take over the points lead. So yeah, just a great night for Owen.
That was his 70th win. Um,
Wow.
I think there's an All Star and maybe a Clash in there, but regardless, 70 wins is just crazy.
Yeah.
Um, Brandon Combs comes home second. I know that he did the practice session Monday, and I think they did one on Sunday as well. So he put in,
Yes, I believe Dylan told me they had a little,
yeah,
public session they did where they got to race as well.
he put in the work, and it definitely paid off. He was good on the long run, and then there at the end, just I don't I think if we had like a 10 or 15 lap run to the end, I could have done something with those guys, but it was the tires fired off really good for a couple laps, um, even if you had old tires, so they were able to hold on and yeah, good result for Brandon, a good start to the season.
Yeah, and he was caught up in an incident late, and
That's right.
I kind of sat there and thought to myself, like, man, I think that's actually really going to benefit him because he was able to come down and I think he was still sitting on a set and grab a faster pair and then restart, you know, eighth or ninth or something like that, and charge his way back to the front. I saw him coming quick on the some of those late restarts, and that's all I could think was, man, that almost benefited him to get that opportunity to get in there and throw that last set on.
Yeah.
And again, the strategy call earlier in the race is what led to people like yourself and I believe Bender and Combs all having fresh tires towards the end of the race, which clearly benefited them very well. So,
Yeah.
um, just again, that strategy, I think that's going to come up all season. I think that's going to be another thing that we have to deal with. I think this could be the most difficult season when it comes to only having four sets that we have
Yeah.
faced. So that should be fun to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a tough call, but with the way that you can kind of pass and drive in traffic in this car, it's definitely going to be there's going to be some weird strategy calls that end up winning races. Myself in third, and then we kind of went over my race. And then Brandon Bender in fourth. I believe he was. I don't have it pulled up, but I believe he finished in the top five in the last Vegas race as well.
Yeah,
Um,
he had a good run. And again, I think late in the race, I believe
he
he
was
I
leading,
could be wrong
was he
about this.
not?
I don't know for sure, but I believe he made the right strategy call, was sitting on an extra set and was able to do something with it at the end of the race as well. And I mean, I know just from chasing him and trying to gain on him that in the corners, I could tell on the green white checkers that he definitely had an advantage on me. There wasn't any way that I could get to him there, so I
Right.
was just trying to hold off the guys behind me that I knew were on the same tires as me. So, um, yeah, a good drive by him and a good top five, a much needed top five. He led 7 laps, um, and got a top five from running an average of about ninth place. So.
Yeah.
A great result for him at the end there. I think that average running position kind of speaks for itself with having tires late. Being running that far back most of the race, and then charging up towards the end. Just a great drive by him for sure. Get that top five.
Yeah, I just looked. Last season, he actually finished 18th, one lap down, but he was leading when the final caution came out. I remember that because I think Dan was in
Yep,
second.
I do remember that
Yeah.
now. Yep, he was
Um,
having a good run.
so Vegas, I guess, is a good track for Bender. And then yourself in fifth. So yeah,
Yeah,
solid top five. First, I always say this is the first real race of the season. Um, but I think we got
it was a test.
some good info. Like it was really cool to see that those the two 20 lap runs by themselves surprised me, but then the big long run in the middle of the race was like I was really happy to see that because that's
Yeah, I want to
just
say it was like 40 to 45 laps somewhere in there because when I pit, I still had about 9, 10 laps of fuel left, and the fuel run was about 50. So I think it was somewhere in that 40 range or so that run went. Doing some simple math on, someone probably led the first couple laps till I got there. I led 33 of them, and then Drift led 3 laps. So I think that the total of 36 laps between Drift and I there was on that run. And then,
yeah
like I said, I think there was like a couple more, prior because it took me just a little bit to get up there. But yeah, so a good long run. That was a tough run, that's for sure. I
yeah
started to really lose it at the end there.
definitely. A few more shout outs just throughout the field. Colin Voiles leads his first laps of his career in CRS and also gets his first top 10. He was up in sixth at one point late in the race. I thought he was going to even get a top five, but
Yeah, and he joined like
good
as
run.
qualifying was going on or wrapping up. Like it was one or the other. Like I
He
think
did
he
run the practice on Monday.
Okay, and then yeah, so I think he showed up just enough time to qualify, and that was it. Like so, he got in just at qualifying, got his laps in. He started 14th and drove it up, like you said, had a good race and finished ninth. Is their average running position of 9.9. So he finished exactly pretty much where he was,
Yeah, that's
averaging
a good
throughout the
point.
race, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, he did do the practice session Monday, but Monday was a lot. The track temp was a lot cooler than what we had yesterday, which I was confused about because I set it to hot, so I don't, and it was the same time as the race, so I don't really
Yeah, and it was
know
hot.
why.
Another shout out right behind him, Travis, top 10 there. I know
Yep,
Travis kind of had an up and down race, but and I know he kind of got loose coming out of the tri-oval to bring out the caution that wound up ending that long run. But to be able to bounce back from that, again, I'm sure he had a little extra tire strategy based on where he was at, because I know during that long green run, I was starting to catch him, so that put in my mind that he was one of the guys that stayed out, and he would just maybe was struggling on some old tires, but it paid off for him in the end. He was able to bring home a top 10, this early in the season, which is great for him,
yep,
and a great bounce back from that incident where he spun. So just a good solid run there for Travis as well to bring home a top 10 after what was kind of an up and down day. I'm sure he's not at all going to complain about a top 10.
definitely not. Yeah, and then just going down the order again, there's four people that did not finish on the lead lap, and that was mainly because they were caught up in like incidents at the end.
Yep.
There was a lot of crashing at the end. I know Judd was involved in a couple. Roten was involved in a couple. BC as well. So
I
yeah,
think some of them were really too just you know having fresh tires and trying to make moves, and the difference of those fresh tires, and how fast things come at you in this car. I think the incident with Judd and Donnelly was one that I saw the whole thing kind of unfold where they both are coming off two. Donnelly got just like a little loose and just kind of had to correct it and probably get out of the gas a little bit to do so. And
hmm
Judd was on brand new tires, huge run off the corner, got into him, and they got together, which set Donnelly back, and he was having a really good run at that point. He still brought home seventh, but yeah, he was. But I watched that whole one unfold, and yeah, it just seemed like an issue of like old versus new tires, and things just coming at you quick, because that's how this car is, man. Things are, we're moving coming off these corners, and these runs are huge, especially when we're talking old tires, new tires. So just some little things like that, and then I think the other incidents at the end were guys just really just trying to stay on the door of each other and race each other hard on the exits of corners. I think most of them happened off of turn two, so I think that's what a lot of it
yeah,
was just guys really trying to get a good run off the corner and stay tight on the guys with them, and they just happen to get together. So that kind of stuff happens, whatever. It really mixed up the end of the race. So we used two of our three green white checkers. We didn't go to the third one this time.
yeah,
We managed to bring it home the second time around. I was very happy to take that white flag at the end.
yeah,
That's for sure. Just to know that, like, at least we're gonna get this thing in, and all I gotta do is get one more lap around, and hopefully get a good finish there.
yeah. I think that could be a theme of this season. I mean, I know I just went on about we probably could have a lot of long runs, but if we get cautions at the end, these things are so hard to hang on to. Like, if there's cautions at the end, people are just going to be pushing as hard as they can and probably harder than they can. And I mean, you're just going to have these types of mistakes. So, um, yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
five overtimes through the first two races is quite the stat, but doesn't really tell the whole story, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. And like I said at the beginning, like the eight, you look at the eight cautions, and there was the two early, and then the other ones all happened late. So
Yeah, it's crazy. There's
that middle
basically
part of the
six
race,
cautions in the last like 30 laps.
yeah, and so the middle part of that race was really good, and I think as the season goes on, I don't think that's going to be as much of a recurring theme. I think it will happen for sure, but I don't think it's going to be like an every week thing. I think
Yeah,
that um, you know I think we'll kind of figure this thing out, and people will learn its its tendencies, and how to kind of control it,
yeah,
and it should get under control, and hopefully not be an every week thing. You don't mind every now and then because things like that happen, but you don't want to see it every week.
agreed. Yeah, just like looking forward, I think like Michigan in particular, I think that has the potential to be like a one or two caution race because it's so
I think
spread
so
out.
too, especially with what we saw last night and how much room there is out there, different lanes and all that stuff. I tend to agree with you that could be one where we really have some long runs and have to, a lot of people are going to be challenged to do some managing of the car, and
Yeah,
I think we all have a little bit to learn with how this thing wears tires and how it feels late in the run, and it's going to be kind of fun to see everybody figure that out throughout the season and see who can kind of master that and figure it out.
definitely. Looking at the points, Owen has returned to the points lead. I have to imagine that's the first time he's led the points since like I don't know, maybe season 11. I don't know if he even led the points in season or maybe even season 10. I don't know if he ever led the points in season 11 either.
A real
I think I
throwback
had the
to
points lead for all of season 11, and he didn't lead last season either because he had such a bad start.
a real uh a real throwback when you look at the points of CO and on top, and I'm right behind him. That just
Yeah,
reminds me season one, season two. You know,
yeah, definitely. Um, so yeah, he's up there in first. You're in second. Hoffman with a good start as well. He did not get the finish he deserved yesterday. Caught up in a couple of wrecks.
yeah,
Unfortunately, that seems to happen
he's
to
really
Dylan a
strong.
lot. Like he runs so well and then just gets caught up in other people's mess. At the end of these things, and I mean, looking back at season 12, like that's probably what cost him the championship and eventually second place even just because he ran so well and just gets like caught up at the end.
Yeah, that's he's had a rough little run of luck. It seems like his races either go, perfectly clean or he's caught up in this stuff and there's really no in between. It's either caught up
Yeah,
in a bunch of crap or you run it really well and really clean. So hopefully that kind of streak will end for him and he can turn these really good runs into good finishes. Um, going forward because I think he's going to be really strong in this car and prove that he was really strong last night.
yeah. Our defending champion actually is back in fifth, 23 points behind Owen. I know it's early, but that's definitely a story. I mean, Jack is definitely
Got a
going to
little work to do.
win at least a few races this season, probably more. But he's starting from behind. I mean, last season, so through the first two races, he scored 37 this season, and last season he scored 52 through the first two races. So that's a pretty wide margin. That'll be fun to see him try to chase down the top of the field for sure.
I mean, looking at the standings too, you can kind of see how much the good finishes do pay off though, because Brandon Combs didn't have a great week at Daytona, but had
Yeah,
an excellent finish this week. He jumped 8 spots
yeah,
um, on the on the season standings. So um, the good finishes can really help you out. All you need is some things to go your way with some other people, and you can make big jumps like that. So I don't doubt
definitely.
that Jack has it in him to put some good runs together and be it be have the luck of some other people not necessarily running as well and be able to jump himself back up there. So I think it'll be a short matter of time when until Jack's back up there battling away. Also, shout out to Donnelly who's in fourth there. Um, a good start to the season is him as well. I know that he was set to have a pretty good finish last night. I think he may have even been able to get up there and contend for the win on some of those restarts. He was giving Owen a little run there
Yeah,
before the incident happened. So another great start to the season for him, and he's in a great position to just go out and have some consistent runs, which is what he does best, and try to hang out there in the points and stay in contention.
yeah, definitely. Just going back to Jack, I believe through his 21 CRS races, this is the fifth race he's not finished in the top 10.
Oh wow.
Or let me see, one, two, three, four. This is the sixth time he's not finished in the top five. Excuse me, not top 10. So out of 21 races, he's finished 15 in the top five. That's quite the stat.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
pretty
pretty
good.
okay.
Yeah, it's all right. Um, I do just want to highlight we're going to be covering this weekly. The Cody in-season tournament status.
So glad you said something about that. I was going to
Um,
bring it up.
yeah, he's got 4 races to go before the in-season tournament starts, and he returns. He did say he was going to miss Sonoma, right?
Yeah, he's not
Is
back till Darlington.
right. Okay, so he is plus 19 points to the. Actually, I guess he's plus 22 to the cut line for the in-season tournament. So I mean, he
Okay.
technically
Uh,
he only lost 4 points this week. So um, or 21. He lost five. Let's say. Or no,
bad.
nothing changed actually. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Austin is the first one out, and he has 5 points.
Yes.
So and he didn't run last night. So he's plus 21, and yeah, I mean we got 4 races to go, so he needs to lose less than 5 points basically to that cut line. Um, every week. I think he has a chance. I don't know though. It's gonna be
Yeah, I don't know.
tough.
I didn't expect
It's
the
gonna be
7
close.
position drop off there for sure, but I still think he has a chance.
We will see. That'll be fun to watch going into Sonoma. We should know like going into Sonoma what he needs to happen.
Yeah,
Um,
I think on our episode right before All-Star break, we'll have a good idea of
yeah,
where he stands and what needs to happen at Sonoma and all the situations to keep him in it. So, um, yeah, that's going to be fun to keep an eye on. I hope it works out for him. You know, I know he doesn't want to miss this part of the season and wants to be a part of the bracket challenge. So, you know, we'll yeah, we'll keep updating every week and keep an eye on it and the Cody bracket tracker uh
yes,
will be a weekly staple here for the next couple weeks.
definitely. Um, let's go
We're
ahead
gonna have our
and
hands full week next week, brother. We're headed to
yeah,
Rockingham,
yeah.
and wow, this is gonna be something.
I'm really excited for this race. I feel like Rockingham is one of my better tracks. As far as ovals go. We've had 3 races there in the past.
Three
Owen won
different winners.
yeah, Owen won the first one, which I believe was a blowout in the Xfinity car. I won the second one in the Gen 4, the old Gen 4, but still, hey, I'm taking confidence from that for sure. And then Judd won it in the trucks, but I feel like I think I remember making a bad strategy call, and I probably had the speed to win that race as well. So I'm really excited for
Some
Rockingham.
laps. You finished 10th. You led some laps, but yeah,
Yeah,
it looks like something. Yeah, you ran 4.5 as your average position. So definitely seems like some sort of a strategy is what hindered you from
I think
getting
there
able
was
to.
like 20 laps to go with the last caution, and I was out of tires. I want to say I remember running really well in that race. So, uh, but yeah, Rockingham, 100 and what do we got? 140 laps. So every race we've done there has been a different distance. So that's pretty interesting. 175, 125,
7
155.
cautions,
Yeah. So
averaging 7 cautions a race, and averaging 7 lead changes per race. So
I remember when we ran in the Gen 4, I didn't have the like outright short run pace, but I was really good on the long run. And Owen did have like a stutter that took him out of the race when he was leading, but at that point I was kind of already catching him on the long run if I remember correctly.
yeah,
So,
you led 60 laps of that race, and you actually won the race by 7 seconds. So quite the dominant
yeah.
performance there from you.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm super looking forward to this one. It will probably be another case of strategy and stuff. When do
Oh,
you
I
put on
think
the
big time.
tires?
Holy cow! I think this place is going to eat some tires as well.
This is like technically a short track, but it's one of those where there's not a lot of like hard braking and stuff, so I think we typically do better on those types of short tracks where you don't have to like slam on the
It's
brakes.
Dover. It's kind of like Dover, right?
A
Like,
little bit, yeah.
you know, yeah. It's you know, a little bit larger. It's fast. It's you know, when you're crawling down pit lane and watching everyone fly by you, if you have to make a green flag pit stop or something like that, it's you know, it's tough to watch because
Yeah.
it's definitely a very fast track. Um, by that matter, but yeah, it's going to be a handful. It's bumpy. It's tricky. There's all kinds of different lines that we got to run and figure out. You know what line has speed, what line saves your tires. all that stuff. And with all of us kind of having limited information on this car, it's really going to come down to who can figure that out the best and then survive the race itself. But I think we're gonna have some hard racing. I think we'll probably see some cautions in this race. I think we can prepare for that.
Definitely.
Just because the track's tight and difficult and bumpy, and guys, are going to be racing hard, and it's easy on those bumpy tracks to kind of get thrown off your line and accidentally get into someone, especially off turn two where there's not as
Yeah,
much room. That wall sneaks up quick in turn two.
I was gonna say it's very tight off of two. But yeah, there's a lot of different options. You can run the bottom, you can run the top, you can kind of do a hybrid of both, which is what I typically like to do. I kind of like to enter high in one and exit low in two, and then in three, it's kind of the opposite. I enter real low and exit high off of four. So there's a lot of different options. You can make passes, you can hold people off, and yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, that should be a good time. And third race of the season, we're underway and we are rolling, my man.
Yeah, we should get a clearer picture, I think, of who's gonna kind of be up there. I mean, I know the points change throughout the season, but kind of the first like 5 to 6 races is really where you kind of put yourself where you're gonna be for
Yeah,
the rest of the season. So these are these are definitely important. I mean, every race is important. They're all worth the same amount of points, but um, these are definitely really important races here early in the season.
yeah. So, do you have anything else CRS related, or are we ready to move on to a big weekend out at the Brickyard?
Oh, we didn't do the polls. We got to do the polls.
Oh my God, how could we forget? Combs polls.
Unbelievable. The Combs
Combs
polls.
polls. Let's start with the first one he put up here. So he put up his driver of the week. Obviously, you're not allowed to vote for yourself there, so we had a good share of votes there. A bunch of guys got one vote. A couple guys got two votes, but Owen Mays wins with 36% of the vote. Four votes saying that Owen driver of the week. That was my vote for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, just a great drive from Owen.
Classic.
But Bender picked up some votes, which were well deserved for how he ran and how he finished. Let's see. Colin Voiles got some votes. You love to see that.
Well done.
Uh, Jack got Jack got one.
Jack got
I
one
got
from
one,
Sab. He didn't even race. So
and then yeah, Combs got one as well. So a good week for the polls reflect exactly what I think we all know, which is that Owen had a hell of a drive last night and really earned that one.
definitely.
Yeah,
Idiot of the week was
pretty split decision there.
yeah, I didn't vote in this one because while Jack and I did kind of get together and it was probably like 80 to 90% his fault. I didn't want to pile on cuz
Yeah.
he knows kind of what happened. So I didn't vote. It would have been closer, I guess. I didn't really have anybody to vote for. I find myself rarely voting for this one unless there's something like obvious that I saw. But
I kind of was at a point where I was just looking at all the people on here and I was like, I don't know. Like I didn't even see some of these other guys for a good bit of the race,
yeah,
and it was really Jack was the one I saw the most, and Brandon, and Jack and I never really had anything. I think really my vote for Brandon was a fun one there, and it also turned out to be the deciding vote. So sorry, Brandon.
well, he nominated himself. He was like, "I'm gonna like when he came in the voice chat. I don't think you were there at this point, but he was like, "Yeah, just go ahead and vote for me for idiot of the week," because he had a couple of incidents, I think, which was unfortunate. And then Judd didn't make the poll, but he made some people upset late in the race there. So
Yeah, Donnelly definitely would have voted for Judd if he could
yeah,
have,
uh,
but
tough luck. Tough luck went to Dylan by a
yeah,
substantial margin.
wiped it. Yeah,
I don't know
as
why Judd
which
got votes for that.
checks out.
I don't really think that
I don't
was
either,
tough
but
luck.
The Brandons felt like he deserved them, so the Brandons gave Judd two votes there, and then Christian got a vote as well. I don't really know what happened to him late in the race.
Oh,
He
I
kind
I
of
I asked him. So he left in the middle of the race.
yeah.
So he said he was trying to press Alt Tab and he pressed Alt F4 instead.
Well, I mean, that's what I hate about keyboards is how close they put tab
Right.
and
That
F4.
was
Yeah, I
my
mean,
because I was like on
they're
my keyboard it's they're you know that's a solid distance apart.
yeah. If the tab was in the spot where E and R are, or like the number 3 and 4 are, I might believe it. But I'm gonna officially call bullshit on that.
I mean, well, that I don't
Just kidding, Christian. Love you.
I don't. That's one of the more creative ways to go a lap down, and I mean, he did finish on the lead lap to give him credit.
Yeah, he got him
Um,
back. Yep, the end there, I think, really helped him. Some of those cautions towards the end really helped him
yeah,
there.
definitely.
But that's very Denny Hamlin during COVID saying his daughter turned off the TV.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, a little bit.
but
Um,
but yeah, no, I mean it's
that I wouldn't
okay,
vote
now
for
I
tough
understand
luck
what
on
tough
that
luck.
though, because that's
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 yeah,
just
that could go
stupid,
under
right?
idiot of the week.
A little
If
bit,
I knew
yeah,
that and he was on there, I would give him a little idiot love there for that. You know,
yeah. I mean,
some
yeah,
fun
it's
idiot
all in
love.
good fun, but that's just
Yeah.
that reminds me of like the flipping of the pedals to make them go in reverse or whatever the hell that was in like season one.
Don't give me PTSD about that.
That's like I know it didn't affect anybody else, thank God, but that's like similar to that to me.
It affected Matt Hand in every single situation. Every time it happened, Matt Hand was the product of it. Like he was the one that was on the bad end of it. So,
Yeah, R.I.P. to that
but
guy. Um,
last week, last one was it a good race? 80% of people said yes. We had a couple no's in there, but yeah, most for the
I
most
think
part,
those
people
were
thought this was
emotional
a good race.
no's.
Yeah, exactly. Emotional
Um,
no's.
but yeah, I think generally it was a really good race. I mean, we had a lot of green flag running and an exciting finish.
Yeah,
So there was good
yeah.
strategy, even
So
though we didn't get to see it play out. But it was I generally I had a lot of fun driving that thing around there. So
yeah, I look forward to the rest of the season. I look forward to keeping an eye on those. Combs let us know he's going to keep a tab on them so that at the end of the season we can award Idiot of the Year and have all that fun stuff. So more to come on that as we
idiot of the
keep a
year is
tab on all these
crazy.
polls results.
Very excited to see that one.
Yeah, very very excited as well.
Yeah, so I think we wrapped up
Now I think we got it
CRS.
all with CRS, right?
I think so. Let's get into some indie. Just starting off with the my favorite topic of the episode, probably. Um,
Did it happen on Saturday?
it did. It happened
I wonder
towards
what
the
it was.
towards
Was
the
it
end of the
Connors
race.
Village winning and just dominating?
I was happy to see that, to see them get their 100th win, but that is not where I was going. It has
Proud
to do with
Silver's.
some white gloves. So, did you listen to
Yep.
Actions Detrimental? Did you listen to? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you listen to
I
them?
did not.
Okay, so Denny's take on this was he was kind of defending Austin because there's no way that he's that stupid. That was kind of Denny's take. Like, is he really that stupid that he would do
I think
this?
so.
I mean, from me, I think so because you can see like he saves it and then gets the thing straight and then turns left like right into him.
Yeah,
So
it
I
was
just like he
it
lost his
was
mind, right? Like
it was pretty stupid. It's and then of course the worst I think the worst part about it all is that it was in such a bad part of the track where Almirola goes and hits the
concrete.
yeah the few little bits of Indy that are left that don't have safer barrier on them. That's where he makes impact, and I think Almirola said it was like one of the hardest hits ever taken in his life. So like man,
Yeah,
that's he equated it to his back injury
yeah,
uh impact, which was into a safer barrier. So like that's like guy, that was a nasty wreck, but this one, it was scary. It's we don't see it that often where I think we saw it with Blaney last year where he hit the part that was uncovered at Nashville, I think it was, where it
yeah.
didn't
Two
have
years
safer
ago, I
barrier,
believe.
but yeah, man, for him to hit that wall, I mean that's scary because we don't. There's not a lot of places on these tracks that don't have that safer barrier on it nowadays. So to see someone hit that, it's been a long time since I've seen an impact that hard into just a
Concrete,
straight
yeah.
concrete wall. And gosh, yeah, I'm just glad he's okay because I mean that could have turned out really ugly. Um, I had a blast listening to on DVC. Tommy just went off on him,
Yeah,
and
it was great.
rightfully so. I mean, Tommy's been around the block. He knows what kind of stuff that impacts like that can do to people on older just concrete walls. So rightfully so in going off on that. And I think it was even Mark Martin on the show too, who was like,
Yes.
anytime you're doing that, you're like someone could get seriously injured, and that's
Yeah,
why
he was
it's
like
so dangerous.
the
So
thing that kind of caught my attention when Mark was talking about it. He was like, when you do something like that, you can kill that guy.
yeah, that's what it was, man. Like,
And the
and
silence
he's like, I
after
hate to
that
be
was like
morbid
a
about it, but
definite.
like,
Yeah, I mean it's
yeah, like
true.
he's spot on. I think that's fitting for the show. But but yeah, like I mean, he's 100% right. Like, and that's like I said, that was a scary wreck, man. You hate to, you don't ever want to see anything like that. So I
It's
think
just so dumb. Like,
the suspension got announced today or yesterday, maybe,
yeah, yesterday.
and
Rightly so.
I don't think they'll try to appeal it. I haven't seen anything. I think they're just going to take that and move on. But I mean, that's huge for Hill because all his playoff points are gone, and
Yeah, don't be a fucking
you know,
idiot. I mean,
yeah, I mean that's
so
what you
do
get,
you
right?
think that he would have been suspended if he didn't tell NASCAR to go fuck themselves on pit road after they penalized him?
I don't think that helped. That's for sure.
Do you think if
Um,
he just stays quiet, do you think he's still suspended?
I don't know simply because of how obvious it was
I would say yeah,
that's what
because
happened.
I mean, it's like the evidence is
I laughed
damning.
so hard when I think it was Tommy Baldwin who said that Freddie was talking about, oh, people are asking, do they have SMT data, blah 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 blah, and
Yeah,
Tommy's like, they had old school SMT data, which is his
white
glove.
gloves.
Uh, you know, so I'll be one thing I'll be definitely keeping an eye on, not next week, but the week after is what color are Austin Hill's gloves going
Yeah,
forward? Are they going to remain white?
I don't know. Probably not.
We'll have to we'll have to stash that away and revisit that and start to see does Austin Hill change the color of his gloves going forward?
Maybe.
It's kinda like the whole Belichick thing where he used to tell guys to wear, his
Right.
receivers or quarterbacks wear the colored gloves of the jerseys that you're playing so you don't get called for holding. It's like that same kinda idea. Like, is he gonna switch that up? And,
I think that there should be a rule you have to wear white gloves
I like that rule actually.
or neon gloves like how
Some
Blaney
sort
wears.
of a
Like they
light
have to be
color, yeah.
extremely white. There can be a few colors you're allowed to wear. They have to be like neon or white. Neon something.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I don't want to spend too much more time on this, but the
No,
Richard
let's stop
Childress
talking about
quote
the
afterwards like is ridiculous. Like he's talking
It's
about
back to
like
back weeks of that guy being an idiot. Like, I mean, I've
yeah,
always kinda thought he was an idiot, but man, he is really just
like they
he
always
decided,
we're a blue collar team. They always pick on us like, dude, shut the hell up. Like,
"Yeah, dude, shut up.
did
You
you not
guys didn't
just
even know
see
where his
that?
slow cards are coming from."
Yeah. Yeah. So that was unfortunate. More like stuff on Saturday. Larson steps on it, ruins Justin's race. That was really annoying to see. Um,
That freaking guy, I'm getting tired of him. Jeez.
yeah. When I was
Learn
watching
to
it, I was
drive.
just like, "Come on, Kyle! Like, what are you doing? Like, this is so stupid. This is
That's
so
I mean,
stupid."
that's there's a handful of times that I've watched him in Xfinity kinda, do some things to screw over guys who are racing for points full time in that season, just kind of boneheaded moves and done that. One of them was like I can remember vividly was the Darlington where he walled Sheldon Creed who was leading the race. That was that one that Noah Gregson went on to win. But like
Oh
it's just
yeah,
shit like that. It's just like I know you want to win and you talk about how you want to go down and kick everyone's ass. Like whatever, dude. Like but just like don't do shit like that.
yeah.
I don't know. That was
Yeah, it was dumb.
and I'm sure Allgaier held him down there, but Allgaier's doing what he needs to do. He would
No,
do that against anyone else
Allgaier
on the
left
front.
like plenty of room on that one. That was why it was
Yeah,
so
well, then he's
egregious
just an
to
idiot.
me. Like he left
So it
so much
wasn't like
room.
Kyle Busch and Truex,
No,
where they took each
not
other
from what
out,
I
trying to
saw.
hold each other
No.
tight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But that led to a Connor Zilic win. One of the more entertaining tweets I saw from the weekend was someone said, "Let's be fair here. Connor Zilic actually hasn't won an oval yet. He's won on a triangle. He's won on a rectangle. So and he hasn't. I'm sorry, he hasn't won on a non-rain shortened
Right.
oval yet. He's won on a triangle and a rectangle,
Yeah.
and a rain shortened Dover race. But yeah, that's a funny joke that he has won on a triangle and a rectangle before an oval in a straight up full race. But
Yeah.
I mean, he
That's
was going to win
great.
Dover anyway, in my opinion.
I think so
But
too. Yeah.
yeah, but like you said, 100 wins for junior motorsports. That's awesome. That's good for them.
Yeah.
They just do everything right. They got it figured out over there.
they're the fourth team to do that. I was trying to think of what the other three were. Would that be obviously JGR and Roush? But what's the other team?
Penske,
Maybe.
they had a good because I
Oh
mean
no no
Austin
no! It was
Cinders back
RCR.
some of those. Oh, okay. Well, that makes
I think
sense.
I think it was RCR. Yeah. Um,
That makes sense.
RCR, JGR, and Roush. That's yeah. Okay. I don't know if that's right. Judd probably knows. So leave a comment. Um. Yeah, I think that's it for Saturday, and then Sunday, dude. I don't know. Like I
Austin,
was yelling. I
yeah,
was excited for Bubba, dude.
I was too, man. I was fired up. It was what just like a cool what a cool win, a cool moment. Just to like everything about it was just it was really exciting. I think it was just good for NASCAR in general. I think that's like the most applause I've ever seen for that guy. From booze to bricks, right? Like thank you Jeff Gluck for that.
From booze
Just
to bricks.
yeah, just to on a 100 race winless streak and sitting on that bubble like he has been. No one's done it more than Bubba, where he's just sitting right there, just fighting for points. And I think the last couple weeks that we've talked, I just keep talking about how they're doing the right things points wise and trying to point themselves in, and then for him to go out and do this, um, it was amazing. Some people were shocked by the result. Personally, me not as much because like I've as a fan of Bubba's, I know he's damn good at Indianapolis. He
Yeah,
always has been.
I think he
He
finished
put
third in RPM.
in the 43 when that thing was just an absolute shitter, right? And
Yeah.
and like and then he's always had some good runs there, so it wasn't the most shocking thing to me, but in the fashion that he had to do it, where he had the late race, he was chasing down Logano. I've seen a lot of people saying that Logano would have won, but like you never know, first of all, and
Yeah.
he was gaining on him. Logano has that tire issue, and Bubba has the help of
And some.
Reddick, who has a little damage, holding up some of the guys and helping to create that gap for him. He had like 5 seconds, and Larson was running him down, but I don't know if Larson maybe could have gotten there, but passing's a whole different story, right? So,
Yeah.
um, and I also think Bubba was kind of going a little easy once he had that gap to one make sure they had some fuel, which that could have been what helped them win the race at the end, if you think about it,
Well,
was the fact that
yeah, but the thing I would say to that is he did like a 10-minute burnout at the end, so I think they were not as
dude,
close as they
like
thought.
maybe that long run before the rain is what earned him the fuel to do the burnout. I don't know,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, like and then God, I was devastated when I see that caution come out and it's just for rain
Yeah.
and there's like 4 laps left, and I think Bubba said on the radio I needed 5 more minutes. Like he needed the
Yeah.
rain to miss for just 5 minutes, and it would have been fine. And but yeah, then to just go in there and two green white checkers with Kyle Larson on your outside and William Byron behind you and Denny Hamlin in the mix as well, and he holds all those guys off and
Yeah.
the first one and then has to do it again. And I think he even got a better restart the second time than he did the first time. It was kind of interesting hearing Kyle Larson. I don't know if you saw that interview where he was talking about the restarts and how Bubba kind of outsmarted him a little bit. Where in
I
his
didn't see that.
his first restart, he was in like second place, or I'm sorry, second gear. Got a good jump, and Larson was able to get a good jump on him there. And then in the second restart, he slowed down enough to the point where they had to be in first gear. And Bubba just got
Mm,
much better of a launch out of that first gear, and they were much more even going into turn one. And there was just really not a whole lot Larson could do on that outside. And then he
that's
was just
cool.
never able to get back to him. But God, what an awesome win. The emotions, that guy wears his emotions on his sleeves. And if you don't love that, then you got something wrong with you, because that was just so awesome to see how much it meant to him and his family. I laughed my ass off when he brought that baby and
Yeah.
he just held it up like the Lion King, and the crowd goes nuts. And I'm like, this like that's one of the funniest things you could do. Just like it's like there was no reason to do that, and he just was like, yeah, I'm just gonna Lion King my baby, and everybody's gonna cheer. And now that kid has that memory for the rest of his life that he gets to look back on. Like it's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it was I was like getting emotional watching him at the end cuz it was cool. Like you could tell it meant a lot to him. Obviously, I mean,
Yeah,
winning any
and
race
how
is
cool
really
was
hard, but to win at the Brickyard with all the lawsuit stuff and everything that's going on is like, and just like after years of on the cut line and going into Daytona and we need to stay out of a wreck and we need to beat this guy, it's over. Like he's
Yep.
in. He's in the playoffs.
Last year at Darlington, him and Busher are doing everything they can to get in, and then Briscoe goes and wins the race and messes the whole thing up for him.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that was super cool. It was really cool to see the it felt like more than half the field came up and gave him a little congrats after the
That was cool
race,
too, yeah.
because they know how much shit that guy has to go through. That guy gets more hate than like anyone else in sports that I can think of. That just is like such unwarranted, tired hate. Like
Yeah.
like so that was just like they all know that he goes through all that crap, and to see everybody kind of celebrate with him was really cool.
That was probably one of my favorite parts was all the drivers coming up and it's like it's so interesting that like swerving at somebody and even hitting them is like a sign of respect. Like after the
Only
race.
when the race is over.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
we even like even in our races we do that. Like I ran up and rear-ended Owen after the race yesterday. It's like but that's a sign of being polite, you know? It's like respect. It's interesting.
exactly. Yeah, but that was pretty cool to see. That was I couldn't tell you the last time I saw that many people, happy to see someone, win. It just really says, it says a lot about how people in the garage view him, and the relationships he has with a lot of people in the garage. Because
Yeah.
there's not a lot of drivers that I can think of off the top of my head that would also get that type of reaction. Um,
Yeah, I don't think
so yeah,
probably any
just
of
like a
them.
heartwarming, just a great win for him, for NASCAR, for everybody. Um, so cool.
Yeah, first open car ever to win on an oval. Um, and I believe
That's
we
so
figured
wild
out
that
this was the third ever open car to win a race
yeah, yeah.
with SVG and AJ, and then now Bubba Wallace. So pretty
Wow.
cool stuff. You have on here the Christopher Bell thing. I don't. My take on that is that that was like a terrible misjudgment from somebody who should be way better than that. What is your take on that?
I think I'm the same with you. He hasn't been himself over the last couple weeks.
Yeah,
It's just weird. He's done some weird things that just are very unlike Christopher Bell. Over the past couple weeks, and that was like the most unlike him that I've ever seen. I don't know what the hell he was going for there.
I think he
I
was
think
trying
I
to get
brought it
on
up
the
in our
inside for turn three and just misjudged how long the nose was on his car.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, and I've seen the audio where immediately he comes over. I didn't mean to do that and whatnot, but I think it's tricky for me because I'm kind of on the side of look, a right hook's a right hook.
Right,
I think Dylan made a great analogy in our one of our channels that like it's the same thing as like a helmet to helmet in the NFL where like you may not intend to do so. It may accidentally happen, something like that happen, but it still is a helmet to helmet. And for me,
right.
a right rear is a right rear. Um, if
The
Austin Hill
intent
comes on the
doesn't
radio
matter.
afterwards, and if Austin Hill comes on the radio right afterwards, it's like, oh my god, I didn't mean to do that.
Well,
Like,
he did,
does
which he did
you
say
know?
that, which is
Well,
obviously,
exactly right.
yeah,
So that's kind of where I'm at. Is like, like is intent really the deciding factor in these suspension things? Because if then you're just really kind of leaving a lot of gray areas, right? Like
yeah,
if you're judging it based off of intent and having to determine whether someone did it on purpose or not, and NASCAR is the one making those decisions, like I think that's just kind of open up a can of worms. It's not great. I don't think he fully deserved a suspension, but by the rules, right hook. If you put up that tape of Chase Elliott at Charlotte, you put up the tape of Bubba at Kansas, and then you put up what Christopher Bell did there and give people no context. All three of those are suspensions, right? So I don't
yeah.
fully agree. There was nothing happened there. I'm not sitting here saying that I wanted Christopher Bell to be suspended and lose all his playoff points and whatnot, but I think consistency wise, you got to take a little deeper look at that.
I think like the way NASCAR looks at it is like if it's if it's a right hook in retaliation, then they talk about
Which is
suspensions
the
because
big
like
difference between these two, right?
yeah, like Austin Hill, Chase, and Bubba, they were all retaliating. I mean because
Yeah.
and the incidents happened right before. They're obviously all three wrong for doing that, but like Denny puts Chase in the wall, he immediately right hooks, and Larson puts Bubba in the wall, he immediately right hooks
Immediate
him.
right hook. Yeah.
Same with Austin Hill, and there wasn't really anything that led up to the Christopher Bell thing. Um, Now
Well, and also,
I'm totally okay with if they decided, which it seems like they're not, but like the helmet to helmet thing, I would be totally cool with that because then you have a consistent. Then it's consistent. There's no gray
yeah.
area. It's well, I didn't mean to do that, but I guess I'm losing all my shit now. And it's like that kind of inspires some more respect with the racing. It's like if that was the case, then Christopher Bell probably doesn't cut it that close because of the risk of right hooking people. But then again, that's not what NASCAR wants to do, right? They want people to be aggressive and drive like idiots. So,
And I think also in comparison with the using the NFL comparison as well, I think the NFL takes like previous history kind of into effect with that too when it comes
okay,
to weighing the suspensions. And I think if we're talking about Austin Hill versus Christopher Bell, obviously
yeah,
one of those guys has some history of things like this in the past,
definitely,
and the other guy has never really done anything like this. So I think that's another reason why he gets off there. Obviously, the intent is one thing, and just the fact that that's not Christopher Bell's mo to do things like that. He's never been a guy to do that, and again,
definitely
the
not.
immediate regret probably also weighed into one thing as well. But like we're saying, right hook is a right hook. And also the audio was weird because I don't know how synced up those max audios are, but I went back and watched it, and his spotter clears him, and then he turns down and hits. So I don't know how synced up that audio is there. Like, is it right on time? Was he cleared and then decided to go down and he wasn't actually cleared?
Yeah, but like the
And
guy in
if
front of you, that's not on the spotter, surely.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
more
well,
on
and
the
if
driver.
also if that's the case, that's just like an all around brain fart, not
Yeah,
just by Bell. That's the whole. That's a as a team there. Like the spotter for clearing him for making the mistake. So yeah, just a weird situation there. No consequences for Bell. It sounds like, but Hill gets a suspension. Not a good look for both of those situations. But
yeah,
obviously, like we said, one was intentful and retaliatory, and one was not. But last thing I kind of just want to touch on here is before we do Iowa picks, just I saw a lot of, I want to make my take about Indianapolis because I saw a lot of discourse online of people kind of crying about the racing there. And like, yes, I know that you can't pass and it's aero blocking is insane. We saw that the one time I think Bubba and Eric Jones were battling and going into one, Bubba gets down in front of Eric Jones and it washes Eric Jones up completely, ruins his whole
yeah,
corner. So yes, I understand that the dirty air is an issue there. But for me, this race has never really been crazy exciting. And I think that this race specifically is a lot more of a showcase of crew chiefs and
yep,
pit crews. And like it showcases a lot of things and fine details that drivers need to be good at on every other week. And this one kind of brings it out more. For example, crew chiefs making the right strategy calls, drivers having to make good entries and exits to pit road into their pit stalls during green flag pit stops because there was a lot of green flag pit stops. Um, Pit crews having to get the job done, and crew chiefs knowing exactly how long we need to wait for the right amount of fuel to be in the car. So, like personally for me, I think you just saw a whole different aspect of the race. It was highlighting more of strategy and team rather than driver, which is kind of the Indy 500 kind of falls under that a lot of times,
yeah.
and races
Fuel
at the
saving.
Brickyard in the past have been that. So yeah, fuel saving. So like I don't really think it was necessarily like the worst thing in the world. Like I enjoyed it for the fact that the strategy and everything, and the broadcast did a good job of making it explaining these strategy calls and making it seem so important for these strategies to play out correctly. So I don't think it was as bad as everyone says. I know it's a lot of single file and people couldn't pass. Like I understand all those things, but for me, I look at the overall of it as strategy and pit crews and everything were really on display for that race, and it turned out that's exactly what won the race was having enough fuel, making the right strategy call, and being in the right spot, right time. Bubba's crew got him off the pit road, um, you know, before that last run, out ahead of Larson and Hamlin. So it was,
Yeah,
and his crew chief made a good call, and they had enough fuel in the car, enough for him to do one of the better burnouts I've seen this year too. Fun
yeah, it was
fact,
cool.
in my
Um,
opinion, yeah, that was good.
the thing with this is like NASCAR fans' expectations are so wrong a lot of the
Yeah.
times because to me this is like I love baseball, right? I love baseball.
Yeah.
Played it, loved it my whole life. If you have a if we're going into if we're going into a game and it's two of the number one pitchers for each team. This is going to be a pitcher's duel, okay? And somebody complains after the game. Let's say you go with your friends and you bring a guy
Home
who
runs.
who knows nothing about baseball, and the final score is 2-1, and they're going to complain about, oh, there wasn't enough offense this game. That was a boring game. It's like, dude, you don't know anything about baseball, so I'm going to give you a pass here, but that is just not what you should have. Your expectations were wrong going into this
Exactly.
because
What did they expect us to look like Atlanta? Like,
yeah, like
like
if you expected a bunch of home runs in this game, your expectations you either had bad expectations or you just don't know anything.
it was
And I
just wrong
think
from the get go.
yeah,
Like,
and I think a lot of I'm not saying NASCAR fans don't know anything because they do, but their expectations are wrong. This is not
yeah.
going to be like in any generation of car. Indianapolis is not going to be like a crazy close battle to the end and we get a pass with 2 to go or we got a side by side finish to the line. Like it's a flat very long racetrack. Like it's just not. Now obviously the next gen does make it worse. I'm not excusing the next gen. It definitely makes it worse,
Yeah,
but
me either. Yeah.
it I mean just what do you expect? Yeah, it's like you
Well,
said,
and you got to
like
think too.
do you want is this going to look like Atlanta? Like no.
Yeah, and you got to think too. Think like all the quote unquote exciting moments that people may remember from some of the past Brickyards. Um, but most of those are on restarts. Like most of those
Yeah,
restart dependent,
Kyle Busch
and
and
like yeah, it
Truex,
may have
Jimmy Johnson
it
going 3
Cabo
wide.
all that stuff is all restart dependent,
Yeah.
and it's that's where the excitement happens there. But when you get these like long runs like this, it's that's just kind of how the race is, man. That's just kind of what Indianapolis is.
It's
Like
a
I'm
slow
not
burn.
surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised when I see something like this, and I find myself being way more interested in the strategy and everything of that as well. It's like it's a race where the diehards kind of get to nerd out on stuff like that, and the people who claim that they're diehards complain about the racing. I don't know.
There's a way to
It's
watch this race. Like for me, I watched it at the house, so I was locked in for most of the race. And I was on Twitter a lot of the race. I was doing other stuff around the house because you don't need to be locked in on every aspect of this race. Because, like you say, in the long green flag runs, not a lot of stuff is happening. But when stuff is
no,
happening, it's extremely interesting. Like, you think during green flag pit stops I was on Twitter?
no,
Like
yeah, exactly. I want
when they're choosing for the restarts, like that's when you pay attention. That's like I don't know. I guess it's like part of learning how to watch a race. But if you're gonna sit there and watch and want something exciting to happen on lap 98 of a 160 lap race and they pitted 20 laps ago, like you just don't know what you're looking for.
I agree. So it's just every week NASCAR fans they find something new to complain about. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Um, just quickly going over the points. There's 3 spots left open on points with 4 races to go. Tyler Reddick is pretty safe as long as we don't get 3 winners. It is, I believe it's Iowa, Watkins Glen, Richmond, and then Daytona. So the question is, how many more new winners do you have through these 4 races?
I don't know to be honest. Like I think there's only two guys. There are three guys that I would say I think could go up and get it done. And for me, it's Busher, it's Priest, and then it's Kyle Busch just because he's Kyle Busch. And
Right.
like I think, and I don't think we're gonna get more than one. I think if we get one, we're gonna get um, just one, and it might just happen at Watkins Glen, right? Because AJ could go out and win it, but he hasn't been that great on the road courses this year. So,
That's
um,
a colleague problem.
I don't know that he has that in him to go up and win that race. So I think we'll see an SVG or I mean, Busher won it last year, right? So
Yeah.
that could be one of them. But I see the two short tracks of Iowa, Richmond in there, and I think Priest could be a good one to go up and get it. But yeah, like if we exclude Daytona, I don't think I think maybe one new winner, maybe, and then obviously you throw Daytona in the mix, which could be a second, but you never know, especially with the fact that like 12 guys have won a race already this year, I think it is. So like a third of the field has already won.
13. Yeah.
So you're now talking how many?
13.
Yeah, so now
Yep.
you're talking about over a third of the field at Daytona
Yeah.
has already won a race. So that's, you only got like 26 cars now that could be these new winners versus if the number was lower. If we're talking about like 30 different guys, that's a whole different story, right? But the fact that there's been so many winners, I think makes Daytona a little bit less of a crapshoot just because most of the guys who have won races are in good cars and are pretty damn good at those plate races as well. So, um, I think again, I think I'm going to stick to if we do get one new winner, we're going to get one, and it might happen Daytona, Watkins Glen, with the rare possibility of a Richmond, Iowa. Ryan Priest is the guy I'm looking at there because he's a good short track guy, but
Yeah.
he's got to go up there and compete with the really, really, really good cars at those tracks, which could be tough. But he's having a great season, so you never know. But um,
I think we
I
could
think
have
it, I
two.
okay. I think it gets
I think
interesting. If
we
we have
get.
two, then Reddick's in and Bowman and Busher are both out, which is crazy to think about.
I think. I think we get one at Iowa and Daytona. I think Watkins Glen will have probably an SVG.
Oh my! I mean,
I
he's
know. I
figured it
know.
out.
I know Busher won last year, but SVG I believe was in a colleague car, and the Trackhouse cars are better this year than the colleague cars were last year on road courses for me.
And he's
So
just been more dominant on these road courses
yeah,
than he ever was at any point last year. So
yeah. So I think it gets wacky at Iowa with the racetrack. I don't know if you saw the race at Indy or an IndyCar rather at Iowa, or like clips or anything. But
I saw a little bit of
remember
it, not a whole
remember
lot.
the black patches that looked ridiculous last season?
Yeah,
That's like
it's
it's all
aged quite a
faded.
bit.
So
Yeah,
I think the racetrack is going to be a lot different. And I want to say I saw a tweet that said they're running a brand new tire as well. So um, I could see like a random car, like you say, Priest, maybe a Kyle Busch. Remember, RCR was really good at Richmond before that whole debacle last season. Austin Dillon was going to win that race anyway, and I was pretty similar to Richmond. So, and then yeah, Daytona. I feel like, I mean, I'm looking below this cut line right now, and yeah, I feel like we're going to get just a insanely wacky winner. Like,
yeah. I just and with the package, I don't know how you know crazy and different it could be. I mean, we were what 4 feet away from having Priest be a Talladega winner instead of Cindric. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to Iowa. It's gonna be a good race, I think. Who are your picks? Who's your pick for the week? I gotta get back to work.
Um, I'm gonna go. I'll I'll go Kyle Busch. Whatever. I
I
have a
love it.
feeling.
I
I
love
have a
it. Since,
feeling
well, then, since you're sticking guy out of the playoffs, I'll take Ryan Priest. I'll take another guy out of the playoffs that I think has a
that
shot.
would
We
be
talked
great.
about him a good bit. I'll take Ryan Priest to win that race.
Yeah. Um, I'm excited. Iowa's a cool track. Is it a night race?
I don't think so. I think it's in the afternoon. Let me look.
It is
Mm,
at starts at 3:30. So yeah,
Yeah,
afternoon.
so it's gonna be nice and steamy. Hopefully, the tire works out well, and
Yeah.
and we get some good racing. It's not. I don't really consider it like as bad as like a Martinsville when it comes to like the short track package. I think passing is definitely possible there, and I think there's some different lines because it's just a slightly bigger track. So
Yeah.
hopefully we don't get the same story with that we've had in the past with the next gen short track, but we'll see.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I guess that's gonna wrap it up. We pretty much covered everything. Um,
Yeah, I think we nailed it.
Good episode. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, follow us on Spotify, leave a review, leave a comment, all that good
Shout
stuff.
out to Judd.
And yeah, we will talk to you guys next week. See ya.
Peace.